All right, y'all. We are back live on the main channel and on Rumble. And welcome back to the channel. And we're experiencing some global warming in Texas. As you can see, I'm wearing my summer sweater.
Exactly.
And you can ask Texas Mom about the summer sweaters. It's a little chilly outside, and we figured we just jump on, go through some articles here, and we haven't streamed live real quick yesterday to cover that crazy new mortgage deal. As we can see that they're ramping up to artificially float the housing market so that then they can deep six the housing market and abscond with the property and either the feds will hold it or they'll just sell it to they'll give the money to BlackRock and then they'll sell it to BlackRock at a deep discount. And that's for y'all. Okay. That's for all y'all taxpayers out there.
So real quick, do you want to give them the articles, what we're going to be going through today?
Yeah. So the topics we're going to be hitting
the topics
are New York City will track carbon footprint of residents' food purchases. It's really cool. It's a quick little article. You must eat less porridge for the sake of Mother Gaia. And then another great news out of New York. And if you don't know why we left the Northeast, blackout warning. New York's zero emissions energy plan for 2040 will sharply reduce energy reliability while spiking costs for consumers. Just like, I don't know if you've heard, in California, they're considering passing legislation that they're going to derive your cost per watt according to your net worth. So there you go.
Really?
I mean, that's fair and balanced. That's safe and effective.
Absolutely.
And then here is another energy news. Controlled economic demolition. Germany abandons nuclear power even as Europe energy crisis worsens. I mean, and then we're going to close out with this new great Senate bill, digital ID, that's been proposed by an independent and a Republican. So those, they, them, and those, they all play on the same team. Both of these are just happen to be women, but we won't hold that against them. Nope. At least they are biological women. So
that is true.
That's something going for it. So I am going to hit my old share screen window.
Brave browser.
Share the old Brave browser. I'll go back to the first article here, and we'll just jump right into it.
Sure.
Hey everybody, how is our audio and video? Nobody's in the chat, and why is nobody in the chat? That's weird. Okay. I hope everything is running properly.
There you go. There's one.
Okay. And how's our audio and video? Just let me know, because it was weird when nobody's in the chat that early. So, okay, so let me
just go ahead and pop that in.
Article. Here we go. Mayor Eric Adams, that great mayor up there in New York City. He's a great guy. He's awesome. I think he does tap dances and sings songs when people get beat up, stuff like that. It's another great article. Mayor Eric Adams revealed on Monday at an event for the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice. Environmental justice, bro.
Yeah, man.
That New York City will track the carbon footprints of residents' food purchases. New York City will track the carbon footprint of residents' food consumption as part of a sweeping initiative to decrease the city's carbon emissions from food. So
just don't eat any food.
So now carbon is emitted by food.
Really?
Okay.
What's next?
I wore this hat for a reason, y'all. I wore this hat for a reason.
Here. Boom.
I wore this hat for a reason. What they want to reduce, y'all,
is us.
Now food emits carbon. We are carbon-based life forms.
What is next?
It's hilarious. You gotta laugh because it's like a bunch of rabid monkeys running the show. Okay. Environmental justice. About a fifth of New York's greenhouse gases emissions come from household food consumption.
What?
I like how they P-Mine and Q-Data, all this P-Mine, this data. Now your food produces carbon, Adams told reporters, blaming much of that total on meat and dairy. The methane household food consumption is supposedly the third largest contributor to city emissions totals, trailing only building and transportation. The mayor's Office of Food Policy has ordered cities' agencies to reduce their food consumption. Okay, are you listening? Mayor's Office of Food Policy has ordered food policy. There's an Office of Food Policy? Really, y'all? How about like zipper people, all these morbidly obese people that are so happy being like 300 and 400 pounds? Why not zipper their mouth shut? So you want to do something for somebody that would dramatically affect and improve the country as a whole. But no, you need to reduce your food consumption by 33% by 2030. And Adams has asked private corporations to cut their own emissions by 25% by 2030, insisting New Yorkers' wasteful eating habits cannot continue without imperiling the planet.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
So you're
eating too much,
so
bro.
Here's the thing. So they'll say this, but will they actually give you like what you have to do to actually accomplish that?
You got to eat the bugs. That's how you do it.
That's it?
Yeah, bugs are very low carbon emitting creatures. And I promise you studies will show that. Okay. It's easy to talk about emissions that are coming from vehicles and how it impacts our carbon footprint, he said. But now we have to talk about beef.
Of course.
City officials urge New Yorkers to put down the buggers and pick up the vegetables and the beans. Kathleen Karate. Oh, wait a second. I figured out how we could parlay this. Kathleen Karate, New York City's director of rodent control, also known as the Rat Czar, will be paid $155,000 a year.
There you go.
According to reports. So what we could do is you could get the Rat Czar, right? And she could gather up all the rats.
Yeah.
And then they could serve rat burgers.
Yeah, we could eat the rats.
Yeah, they could serve rat burgers in New York. And there would be lots of parallel, ironic. So now we have a plant-based diet is better for your physical health and mental health. I'm living proof of that. But thanks to this new inventory of rats, we're finding out it's better for the planet. Adams quipped, while the mayor has long professed to be a vegan, even publishing a cookbook touting his supposedly plant-based diet. He admitted last year that he enjoyed the occasional fish. Oh, that no good scallywag.
Terrible.
Of course, he's a hypocrite. Of course he does.
Yeah.
That guy's probably eating filet every night. That is incredible. Okay, he enjoyed an occasional fish after a restaurant whistleblower came forward. Oh, so he only admitted it after he got busted.
Yep.
That's pretty classic. Yeah, the good old vegging. That good old salmon-eating vegging. The household consumption carbon footprint tracker will be viewable on the same website as the city's breakdown of its annual greenhouse gas totals, which also includes, that sounds like a propaganda website.
Really?
This also includes data on producing consumer goods and using professional services. Professional services. I'm going to scoot this over so I can read the chat as well.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
There we go. I got it laid out a little bit better now. We're still getting used to the technology, y'all. Last year, Adams signed New York into the C40 Good Food Cities program. Good Food Cities program. It's always sophistry. It's always like the exact opposite of what they say it is. So if it's like the Good Food Cities program, a global pledge to reduce food waste and incentive healthier eating habits, the program aims to enforce compliance with UN climate goals. Oh, we need to force compliance to the UN because we have to kowtow and bow to some international conglomerate Zionist garbage. Okay, by nudging populations toward more nutritious meals. And how did all of a sudden like now all of a sudden that's more nutritious. Like Oreos are vegan, right? They're not nutritious, right? All of this processed trash in most of the grocery stores is absolutely vegan, and it's completely not nutritious. It's not healthy. It is no good for you. Mandating a planetary health diet for all residents. Global citizens. It's a really bad dystopian movie, poorly written. Yeah. Adams admitted that monitoring what's on the end of New York's forks was not going to be easy, telling the outlet Gothamist, I don't know if people are really ready for this conversation. The answer is they're not, and their answer is leave us alone. When his predecessor, Michael Bloomberg, tried to legally enforce healthy eating in 2012 with a heavy-handed ban on supersized sugary drinks, which is vegan, by the way, the state Supreme Court struck it down as an arbitrary and capricious. Bloomberg, however, now runs the C40's program board of directors. So he's circling back. So that's pretty cool. So if you, I don't know who in their right mind would live in New York City, but if you do,
I have no idea.
Here's some new sanctions coming your way.
No idea.
It's so insane. Oh, my Lanta. All right, quick commercial break. We appreciate all y'all.
Absolutely.
And if you appreciate us and enjoy what we do, please check out TheTexasBoys.com. We got some cool merch. We appreciate people sharing their pics of their swag and their merch after they purchase it. We have the mushroom brew. We have some unvaccinated organic honey.
Yep.
We got different types of coffees. We got CBD and lion's mane, and we're out of 1 gallon, so we are restocking the honey.
So 1 gallons are coming in soon.
Be patient on that. They'll be here shortly.
Waiting for them to get bottled up.
And so now back to the regularly scheduled Clown World.
Oh man.
My goodness. Okay, so let's see. New York City is going to track your carbon footprint. And then, Texas Mom, breaking news.
What is it?
Breaking news. Lay it on us, Texas Mom.
I don't want it to be on the video.
Oh, well, we're live. We're live, Texas Mom.
We're going to do it live. We're live.
Doing it live!
There's big opportunities.
Big opportunities
that are coming our way.
That are coming to the Texas Boys way. So this is a live clandestine pseudo announcement with big opportunities.
It has to do with grass.
It has to do with grass. Sweet.
And CO2 emitting
dirt under the grass. So we are going to be buying grass and dirt that sequesters carbon and converts it into meat patties.
I'm like Bill Gates.
They converts it into tasty meat patties of high density nutrivore status.
Your mom said awesome.
Hey, your mom. I just like your avatar, your mom.
This is awesome.
PD, what's up, Pete? So check this out. Blackout warning, New York zero emissions energy plan for 2040. Here's their plan. You're going to be reading by a candle. You're going to be reading from the list of blacklisted books that are verboten, that you snuck out of the burn pile. You're going to be reading it by candlelight by 2040. They will sharply reduce energy reliability while spiking costs for consumers. Wow, what a tremendous combination. That just sounds so great. I'm sure everybody in New York is looking forward to that. In less than 17 years, the Empire State, also known as New York, is aiming to reduce all emissions across the state to precisely zero, which is literally a mathematical impossibility.
So you love how they're going to start doing blackouts and stuff, and then they're going to, in the same breath, they'll be like, oh, but go buy an electric car, though. Go do that.
Right, because that's going to magically charge itself. And I love that we're going to go net zero when it's absolutely impossible, and even if we did to net zero, all of these carbons and sulfurs and methanes are all being belched up from the sea and from volcanoes, and
the earth produces itself, produces all that stuff.
It produces all this stuff, and it has been, we're Christians, right? And we're creationists, and we believe that the earth's like 6,000 or 7,000 years old, and all of these eugenic Malthusian knuckle dragging from the pond of slime to the guppy pollywog to the monkey swinging in a tree. Now I'm a doctor with a PhD. those guys, this thing has been doing this for billions of years. No, hundreds. I'm sorry.
Probably trillions now.
It used to be billions of years. It's been doing
Well,
this
it used to be millions, now it's billions, and now it's hundreds of billions
of years.
Yep.
But we're gonna be net zero by 2040.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro. Okay. And the reefer madness and the pot use in New York does continue to go up. I will admit that, but you can see it's affecting policy. The consequences of this, because you got to be high to believe.
All right, I got to leave the show.
Okay,
It's
Texas
so
Mom,
exciting.
this information, y'all, is so exciting.
She can't even wait.
We have to break. We are a professional live news show. All right, and she's interrupting this broadcast. Dylan Mulvaney. Dan. Okay. It is incredible to watch society implode on itself, and it's unfortunate. It's just such a small segment of society that, one, controls everything, and two, just gaslights and really has people ultra duped, and it's kind of amazing. The consequence of this, as you might expect, will be very expensive electricity that's going to somehow charge your electric vehicle, combined with not nearly enough of it to go around for everybody. Yeah, that way us plebs, we're going to get our 18 watts a day, all they, them, and those, probably are just going to cruise around in gas-powered vehicles, eating filet mignon, being driven in their black limo by their chauffeur, heavily armed chauffeur, meaning a total collapse of the state's energy grid. The New York Climate Action Council, which was tasked with implementing the 2019 Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act to combat so-called climate change, recently issued its scoping plan. It calls for hundreds of billions of dollars in state and ratepayer subsidies for renewable energy, hundreds of billions, y'all, of money, battery storage, and transmission lines to meet the massive increases in electrical demand that will occur come 2040, when the state's zero-emission climate change charge reach their deadline. And they're not talking about the new additional demand that will be additionally created by all these EVs. And if you haven't noticed, they're starting to push hydrogen cells, and hydrogen vehicles again, because they know that this EV stuff is trash. And as a quick interjection, and all this EV thing, and Elon Musk, and Tesla is the biggest con. The Tesla company, the car, and everybody, it's trendy and it's cool. And Elon is like smart and quirky and autistic and all that stuff. But Tesla, the car company, is a total scam. All you got to do is watch some of these videos. We watch this one guy. He's a mechanic up in Connecticut. When Matt comes back, he'll know. And, and he's a real big Tesla lover, and he'll tell you that they're just a bunch of prima donna scumbags. They won't sell you parts. Just buy a new car. Oh, you bruised the fender? Buy a new car. And their whole Tesla Solar Roof is the biggest con scam, and they make you pre-buy an inordinate amount of inventory, and then you can't sell it. And then rich people that can even afford that junk, when you price it for them and you give them a quote, they laugh at you. And they're like, oh, what's your ROI? I'm like, there ain't no ROI. You ain't ever getting your money back. This thing is an overpriced novelty that's just a virtue signal, and that's all it is. And it's a total scam.
The suspense is coming.
Okay, so are you gonna break? Well, you better tell your mom. Are you gonna break the news while we're giving the news?
The news is,
what's the news?
That there's big things in the pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah. But they're not yet written in stone yet.
Okay, it's with
another neighbor.
Okay.
And it has to do with land.
It has to do with grass.
Grass, yeah.
Yes, that's great. Well, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
That's great news for us, y'all. I don't know about.
We'll keep y'all.
We'll keep you posted. I'm sure there'll be a video on it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're reading about the demise of the New York State.
Beautiful.
I was interjecting about what a scam Tesla is. And who's the Rich Rebuilds?
Rich Rebuilds. Go check him out.
Rebuilds.
He is exposing all of the whole Tesla and electric car debacle and everything.
Yeah, and I can personally attest to Tesla solar roofing, and that it's a total hoax. It's a total scam.
It's a total scam.
And
it's just a big government.
Yeah, it's a big money wash, and it's a big, it's a super big scam. And all of the data and the statistics they give, and we've done hundreds of thousands of squares, they straight up mega lie too. And and about how many millions of watts they just lie. And I don't know how they're getting I don't know how they're doing their calculations, but it's absolutely not done on reality. That is for sure. Hope alone will not solve the massive electricity reliability deficits of zero emissions energy pipe dreams. In order to reach zero emissions by 2040, New York State will also need 15 to 45 new GW of zero emission dispatch electric generation. That's gigawatts, y'all, in order to maintain system reliability. Again, this is an impossibility because of the way so-called renewable energy technologies work, or in this case, don't work. This is emission-free electric generation that can be dispatched, turned on by NYISO at night or stormy conditions when there is no solar radiation or during calm wind conditions. So they continue to say zero emissions, and it is completely and totally and utterly impossible, but they continue to press towards it. And the reason they need to accelerate it is because all of their emissions charts, they're all fake, and time proves them all false.
And also, too, I don't know if y'all know this, but Apple's really been pushing this of lately, and with all of their devices that are, well, they're already starting to do it, but I think it's going to become an even bigger thing here, especially with social credits and different things that we're going to be rolling into here very, very soon. That I think anyway. And with them like slowing down the charging of your devices, and you're only able to charge at certain times of the day. And even those certain times of the day are like so inconvenient. And man, it's just crazy.
And the other thing is like it'll fast charge if it senses that if the energy is coming from a green source or whatever that even means, whatever that even means.
They can't even track that.
It's all virtue.
It's a bunch of baloney.
Here's some more economic news: controlled economic demolition. This is in Germany. Germany abandons nuclear power even as European energy crisis worsens.
Wow.
So, they create the problem so that you can present the solution. They are completely deconstructing, just like they deconstructed Western society, just like they deconstructed what men and women are, what the nuclear family is, right? After they destroyed that, now they just need to destroy every facet of perceivable life. And here's the point.
And once we destroy the whole entire world, we will just hop in Elon Musk's rocket ship and go to Mars.
We're going to Mars. Hey,
and
here's the thing.
Mars.
You see that Germany's doing this, right? So wait a second. So the United States is trying to destroy their infrastructure. Germany is destroying their infrastructure.
Okay.
Right? So all of these people that you don't understand, Russia and China are trying to work out fair deals, right? And, there's still this Hegelian dialectic that if we could just be like Russia and China, and that is incorrect.
No.
Those same beast systems that run Russia and China are very similar, just a different flavor of beast, and all beasts need to be chained, and it's the same thing, different day. And here in Germany is abandoning its nuclear power on April 22nd at 10 p.m. Germany will shut down.
That was yesterday.
Yep.
Wow.
It's ISAR-2 nuclear power plant near Munich as part of a nationwide effort to eliminate all dirty forms of energy. Not to mention, I'm not a big fan of nuclear, right? But when you actually look at the pollution and the way they dispose of it, it's like actually by the amount of power that it actually produces and puts out, it's one of the cleanest forms of energy. Yeah, absolutely. So, and supposedly they got this new algae that can eat this toxic waste and turn it into earth. But I don't know.
Give me a quick rundown on
Dirty white boy. Just had to say it. Thanks for
Give me a quick rundown on nuclear power. Like, how's that work?
Nuclear. Like, so you smack two atoms together. It starts a chain reaction. It heats up. The heat heats the water, creates the steam. It turns a turbine, and then that nuclear reaction continues to react, and you got to keep cooling it down. And the water that cools it down becomes mildly radioactive, and that is toxic waste. And that's what brought us the Toxic Avenger.
Gotcha.
He fell into the toxic waste. He turned into the Toxic Avenger. And I do not recommend that. That was from many, many moons ago. And I don't remember.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So there you go.
That's from my childhood. But anyway.
Oh boy.
I repent. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned the Toxic Avenger. But okay. Whoa, 10 megawatts. According to reports that the ISAR-2 plant will be shut down in phases with a reduction of 10 megawatts per minute. After about 45 minutes, the remaining capacity will drop to just 30%. And at that point, the plant will automatically sever itself from Germany's nationwide energy grid. Here's the other thing. I'm sure there's some nuclear reactor guys out there. Even as they crank these things down, I don't think they can ever turn them off. That's part of the way that it works.
Because it's saying only drop to 30%.
They can never turn it off, and they're just going to kill it and make it ineffective, and so that it doesn't use power. But it's still going to be an issue, which is real interesting.
Weird.
But so Germany is self-destructing its power grid, and guess who always suffers? The people suffer.
Of course.
The governments don't suffer. They'll have generator backups and all of the, all the technocrats and the billionaire trillionaires.
They will be sitting back on their big billion-dollar yachts, eating their filet mignon and their Wagyu beef.
They'll be eating their Wagyu.
The Marks and the Zuckerbergs and the Elon Muskerdoodles. Yeah.
How much longer will Germany last without reliable and adequate energy production? Overall, these three plants only contributed 6% of Germany's overall power generation last year, which might not seem significant until you consider the fact that Europe's largest economy is already in the throes of a serious energy crisis due to Western sanctions against Russia. With no more gas flowing through the U.S., destroyed Nord Stream pipeline, Germany is in a conundrum as it has failed to secure enough non-nuclear energy from other sources to make up for the loss of all these nuclear power facilities.
So Germany's pretty much just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. On top of, the Nord Stream thing happened, and then to make matters worse, just shut down these nuclear power plants.
Yeah, nothing will go
And these are the people that control things and make all the decisions, and they're here to help you, and they're here to save us. And they're just
save the planet, man.
They're clinically insane. They're nuts and crazy, and they cannot be trusted, and they're not even rational and reasonable. And it's just crazy. And to prove my point,
here we go.
To prove my point, senators introduce a bill to create digital identity for all Americans.
Oh, goody.
U.S. Senators Kristen Sinema, an independent, so she's not a Democrat, right? She's an independent from Arizona. And then Cynthia Loomis, a Republican from Wyoming, 2 women. So children are their oppressors and women shall lead them. This is like biblical prophecy here, right? Women shall lead them. So children are their oppressors and women shall lead them. Did I say that? The bill was introduced on March 21st. That's a curse. The bill was introduced on March 21st in order to proceed out of committee on March 29th without amendments and with a favorable recommendation. Oh, yeah, of course. Well, because there's bipartisan support. So you know that it's so good for us when there's bipartisan support. The bill's text states the lack of an easy, affordable, reliable, and secure way for organizations, businesses, and government agencies to identify whether an individual is who they claim to be online creates an attack vector that is widely exploited by adversaries in cyberspace and precludes many high-value transactions from being available online. High-value transactions, like I'm buying gold bullion. What are you talking about? Incidents of identity theft and identity fraud continue to rise in the United States, where more than 293 million people were impacted by data breaches in 2021. The bill calls for the formation of public-private partnerships. That's called the technocracy, y'all. That's called the corporatocracy, right? That's called fascism, all right? That's called fascism. Public-private partnerships to bring the digital ID system into being. The public and private sectors should collaborate to deliver solutions that promote confidence. You mean like InQtel and the Google and all of this alphabet soup and all that? They should promote confidence, privacy, choice, equity, accessibility, and innovation. The private sector drives much of the innovation around digital identity in the United States and has an important role to play in delivering digital identity solutions. The bill references the Bipartisan Commission on Enhancing National Cybersecurity, which has called for the federal government to create an interagency task force directed to find secure, user-friendly, privacy-centric ways in which agencies can serve as one authoritative source to validate identity attributes in the broader identity market. This action would enable government agencies and the private sector to drive significant risk out of new account openings and other high-risk, high-value online services, and it would help all citizens more easily and securely.
Because we all know that, they're looking out for us, not themselves. They just want to help us.
It's all about
keep us safe.
Peace and safety.
Exactly. Peace and harmony in all the world.
Peace and safety.
And we're all going to just sing kumbaya.
Peace when there is no peace.
And, just like Elon Musk lying to everybody saying, oh, well, we added in all these cameras inside the car now. So just in case it wasn't worse enough that there's like cameras all around the car, now there's cameras that literally point right at you. And he's like, oh, don't worry, guys. We're not like harboring any of that data. We don't know where, when we're analyzing our data, we don't know what car that data point came from. Your data's safe with us, just like Apple and Google and Microsoft, how they all say that, but it's all a bunch of
just ask the Twitter files. Globalists with ties to the United Nations and World Economic Forum have for several years advocated a digital ID requirement as a way of removing so-called disinformation from the internet. Once everyone has a digital ID, it becomes easy to restrict everyday human movement and activity based on one's social credit score, like in China. In China, where they do fair trades with the BRICS, which Klaus Schwab has stated in the model for many other nations. I went from like Klaus Schwab to like Yoda all in 1 second.
And like Bill Gates.
If your score dips below a certain point, you are now a high-risk individual and your digital ID would simply be flagged.
Yeah, you get a smack on the wrist.
Like a red flag law.
Oh.
The government, working in collusion with big tech, in their ongoing public-private partnership, simply block you from logging onto the internet. You can no longer have a bank account, get a driver's license, receive health care, obtain a passport, or any of those other high-risk privileges. Nice. We have already seen how the government worked hand in glove with big tech and corporate America to silence dissidents on vaccine passports, masking, lockdown, In Canada, the government worked with banks to freeze the bank accounts of protesting truckers. The whole COVID experience was a dry run for the coming beast system, where you won't be able to buy or sell without showing proof of or submission to the system. Digital IDs in tandem with the coming digital money will be weaponized into a global enforcement system, the likes of which the world has never seen. These intrusive, invasive attempts to digitize humanity and to reduce us to a QR code always comes with the same sweet-sounding sign points. It will make our lives easier, more convenient, more safe and secure, safe and effective. We will even have more privacy, Senator Sinema assures us. Sinema, it's important to note, was present at the 2022 Bilderberg meeting and at the 2023 World Economic Forum meeting at Davos. She's quickly becoming one of the darlings of the global technocracy movement, said Patrick Wood, editor-in-chief of Technocracy News and a resident of Arizona. She is emerging as one of the most dangerous women in America, Wood told me. She is the head of the proposed new task force charged with creating the digital ID according to Senate Bill 1984. No way. No, I'm joking. Senate Bill 884 would be appointed by the president. Yeah, because he's capable of appointing things. The Senate bill states that the task force will establish and coordinate a government-wide effort to develop secure methods to improve access and enhance security between physical and digital identity credentials, particularly by promoting the development of digital versions of existing physical identity credentials, including driver's license, e-passport, social security credentials, and birth certificates. This is right in line with the World Economic Forum kingpin Klaus Schwab's pronouncement in his book COVID-19, The Great Reset, that the human existence is evolving to the point where there will be a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological entities. That's transhumanism. So if you want to know where all this Transformer Decepticon stuff is going, the Transformer and Decepticon stuff is going straight into transhumanism. All right. So we can, I'll close this down for now. I'll close all, stop sharing. I got to thinking, I do want to cover a topic real quick, because we talk about the mark of the beast, Yeah. And, the thing that's never mentioned is they always talk about buying or selling, but they never talk about the other components of the mark. And that is the worship. And I just want to find this verse here. But it's going to be right here. He calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. But all the things around the mark of the beast is worship. Okay, and it all involves worshiping the beast, and that is statism, y'all. For one, okay, that is the absolute definition of statism. So for all these statists that want to worship the state, that state worship is mark of the beast. Yep. Okay, and so there's that, but it's not going to be something that, when it comes to the mark and worshiping the beast, you're going to do it consciously. You're not going to get tricked into doing it. Nope. And that's just the whole point of that is people are going to sign up and line up for this. And I honestly don't think that people are going to be like, well, I got to eat and I got to feed my family. So
no, they'll be willing.
No, they're going to think it's great.
No, because, what's going to happen is it's going to be out of convenience. Yeah. And it's going to be like, but it's so easy though. I can just think, and then it'll like Google itself, and then like I won't have to like type or look at my phone. It's all in my brain. It's so great.
Yeah, and that's what Jimmy, from Mark of the Beast, Mr. Beast. Oh, Freudian slip. Jimmy from Mark of the Beast said, "I can't wait till Elon."
That was a good one.
I can't wait till Elon gets his transhumanism link. What's that thing called? Neuralink.
Well, I hope he'll be the first one. That'll be great.
Yeah, he's like,
test it out on him.
Dude, he wouldn't do that. It's just going to make you super smart, and you're going to be so much can be taken on accident. I don't think it can be. I don't think the mark can be taken on accident. You don't see that anywhere in Scripture. I think it is a thing that everybody's going to want and desire.
Yeah.
And it's the worship. It's not just the mark. It is the worship. So I don't think anybody's going to be hornswoggled into the mark. Because if it were possible, it would deceive even the elect. You know what I mean? And why would children of God even consider it? You know what I mean? So it's going to be incredibly powerful. It's going to be strong delusion. But I don't see anywhere in Scripture that it can happen accidentally, because it does involve worshiping the beast.
Disney had a dragon of theirs burst into flames yesterday.
Yeah, I wanted to hear some performance. It just like, some performance.
It's kind of funny that it's a dragon and it's Disney. What the heck?
But I hope y'all are having a great evening and a great weekend. We just wanted to jump on real quick. We haven't been live in a very long time.
Cold and nasty outside.
Yeah, it's just like cold and damp.
It's like so.
It's like wintertime in Texas.
Weird.
In 50? The summertime. Yeah. So I said, hey, let's jump on.
If there was anybody from Minnesota on the live stream, they would be like, "Oh, we're swimming in 50-degree weather."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh man, that's like
sun tanning weather."
End of spring in Minnesota. Minnesota,
don't you know?
Giving yourself over to change your DNA is basically like worship. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see anywhere where it's going to be accidental or inadvertent. I think it's going to be willing.
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't
willingly
do anything that affects my DNA
at all.
That's for sure.
GMOs
or appeal.
Oh yeah.
Or
oh man.
Or Mr. Nah.
The Mr. Nah. There you go, y'all.
Oh, 83 in SoCal. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah. Thanks, well.
But then again, you're in SoCal, so there's that. So,
yeah.
Sorry, Pete.
that is true. Yeah, I will take a little bit of cold weather here and there. I think it's actually nice because normally this time of the year you already starting to feel like summer.
Yeah, it's really
so
great.
It's abnormally cold. It's probably because all the ice caps are melting right now, and we're just getting like cold wind blowing in. Probably that. Greta is screaming really loud again.
How dare you, sir?
She's like trying to she has like her AC unit cranked and the windows open on her house. Yeah,
I'm sure she's
trying to keep it nice and cool outside for us. Oh man. All right, y'all. So we'll have some more videos coming out soon. We're going to be changing up our video style a little bit. So the 2 last videos that y'all saw, I'm going to just start switching over to that because I think it's just more enjoyable for everybody. It'll take me a little bit longer, but I like adding the video clips and the photos in. I think it makes it way more enjoyable. So if that's okay with y'all, I would love to start doing that, and I would love to hear y'all's feedback with that. And hopefully y'all enjoyed those 2 other videos. The videos that I was talking about were the Bill Gates or Kill Bates and the Bud Light video. So go check those out if you haven't. They're really, really funny videos. So I would highly recommend going and watching them if you haven't already. And those style of videos are the type of videos that we're thinking about coming out with more of them. And also we're going to be posting some more like homestead related content and how to save money this winter also, and all types of awesome stuff. So stay tuned. And with all that said, y'all, thank y'all so much once again for jumping on tonight's live stream. And go check out TheTexasBoys.com and pick you up something over there. And also remember that we will be restocking all of the 1 gallons probably about in a week or two. So just stay tuned on that, and but all the rest of the honey is in stock. So the half gallons and other things like that. So anyway,
Jang Lang, Maltang, thanks for hanging out.
Carlos, thank you so much.
Pete, greatest ever. Your mom, Tiny
Joy,
Farm Nuggets, Joy. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Thanks for hanging out.
Everybody else that has jumped on here. Dirty White Boy,
Dirty White Boy,
greatest ever. Free Man from Colorado, and Doc, and I think that's pretty much it.
Did we get everybody? Home on the Range.
Home on the Range, Dixie Living Homestead.
All right. We'll
Tess,
see y'all.
there you go.